Toastmasters, honored guests. As Mo said, the title of my talk tonight is Leadership Lessons Learned on the Ballroom Dance Floor. It's much more common for women to be interested in taking dance lessons than it is for men. Usually their excuse is that dancing is not a very manly activity. The truth is, most of them are simply afraid to embarrass themselves publicly, not unlike public speaking. One of the things that I've said to trick men into taking ballroom dance lessons is this: guys, ballroom dancing is the last bastion of male dominance left in society. The man leads and the woman follows. What I conveniently leave out at this point is that there's a catch to this. In the Spider-Man movie, there's a quote, "With great power comes great responsibility." What am I talking about? Well, when I'm on a dance floor, if I make a mistake, it's my fault. If my wife makes a mistake, it's still my fault because I didn't lead properly. You see, on a dance floor, in order to be a good lead, which by the way is very much of an aspirational goal for me, I have to keep a proper frame. As a matter of fact, on a dance floor, you might say that the lady is the beautiful painting and the man is the frame whose job it is to make her look good. That's why you'll often see in dance competitions, the lady is dressed in a beautiful colorful dress, and the man is often just wearing black. Keeping a good frame is very similar to when we say leading by example, being a good role model. Conversely, when you don't have a good frame, it's like a leader who lacks integrity. If my frame is integrated, then I'm not leaning over my wife, or I'm not pulling her out of her frame, both of which can be very frustrating for her. When my frame is proper, my signals on the dance floor can be very subtle, so much so that my wife is barely aware she's even being led. Her perception is that she's simply doing what comes naturally, as if doing anything else would seem odd. She feels inspired. Unfortunately, if my frame is not proper, which my wife would tell you is sometimes the case, more often than not actually, then I try to make up for it by forcing my lead. I literally use my strength to overpower her into submission. And it can look like it works for a while, but it comes at a high price, and the whole experience can be negative for both of us. Instead of feeling inspired, she feels manipulated. There's a very good chance, too, that she'll come off the dance floor with some spasms, some few spasms around her neck and her shoulders. That is akin to autocratic leadership in the workplace. There can be a time and a place for this. If there's an emergency situation, or if people's safety is at stake, or if you're about to collide into another couple on the dance floor. However, it should never be the first option. I've read that a leader's role, among other things, is to take responsibility. When things go wrong, there can be a very strong temptation to blame other people. But unless finding somebody to blame actually forms part of the solution, the energy spent on this is wasted and often will make things worse. Regardless of any titles we may or may not hold on a job or in volunteer organizations that we have, we're all leading people in one way or the other. And the people I lead, the behavior of the people I lead, is at least partially a reflection of my own skill as a leader or lack thereof. The thing about the dance floor is the feedback as to whether I'm leading properly or not is almost instantaneous, because my wife lets me know pretty quickly in no uncertain terms. In other roles that require leadership on the job and family relationships and volunteer organizations, unfortunately, we often have to wait for the benefit of hindsight before we can really evaluate if we were effective or as a leader or not. And that hindsight could be days, weeks, months, years. And unfortunately, after that much time has gone by, it may be difficult, if not impossible, to repair errors or even detect what they are. A true leader focuses on taking responsibility for finding solutions. And if there is blame to go around, he's usually willing to take more than his share of it. On the dance floor, I have the opportunity to continuously learn about my strengths and the areas where I need to improve, and I can use those lessons in the dance of life. Now, I know that people have free will, and I'm not suggesting that we need to take responsibility for other people's actions. But since I have zero control over anyone else's actions anyways, I can choose to not focus on playing the blame game and instead look within, check my frame, and come up with effective solutions. I saw a bumper sticker that said, "Dancing is life." I think there might be a lot of truth to that. Thank you very much for listening.